Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm doing a get to know me video just because I think I started this channel over a year ago, almost 2 years now, and I don't think I really had a proper video where I like introduced myself. I just kind of jumped in and started uploading videos, and so I wanted to take a little bit of a step back and share some insight into who I am. And so I'm kind of doing my own spin on the Get to Know Me tag, where I answer 24 questions that will give you some background on me and also what this channel is about. So without further ado, let's get into it. So my name is Kadeen, and the name of this channel is my first and one of my middle names. So Kadeen Abigail. My mom calls me Katie for short, and my dad calls me Abby, so Kadeen Abigail. I'm from Jamaica originally. I grew up there. I lived there for 18 years, and then I moved to the US to start college. My biggest accomplishment was actually graduating college and starting or getting into grad school. I just kind of backtrack a little bit to give you some background into my education trajectory. So I went to Wolmer's Trust High School for Girls in Kingston, Jamaica. The motto of our school is Age Quod Geese, and that's Latin for whatever you do, do it well. And sometimes we say whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability. And I've kind of kept that with me ever since high school. So big up Wolmer's. Yeah, and then I moved to the US and started undergrad. I went to Medgar Evers College in the CUNY, or the City University of New York system. I spent my freshman year at Medgar Evers College, and then I transferred to Brooklyn College in the same City University of New York system. And there I majored in health and nutrition science. I was on the RD track to become a registered dietitian, and I met some really amazing people who were just super integral to my development as a student and a professional. And I got into doing research, and then I decided, I actually want to take it a step further and become a scientist. So after undergrad, I got into Cornell University for grad school, and that was in 2020. So I graduated college in 2020 and started grad school in 2020. And so now it's 2025. I'm in my 5th year of grad school, and I'm studying nutritional sciences. In fact, I actually wanted to go to Cornell for undergrad, but I didn't end up doing that just because I moved to the States and I wanted to stay closer to family just to kind of get used to the place before I like move away from them. Yeah, but full circle moment, got into Cornell for grad school. Things that I'm interested in, I love art. These canvases behind me were painted by me recently, actually. So I love painting. I recently got into pottery maybe like 3 years ago. I actually took a break from it though. I got distracted with research and being a busy grad student. But I'm hoping to get back into it this year, but I still have my little pottery wheel. Any kind of art, to be honest. Digital art, pottery, painting, drawing. I have a sketchbook. All of the art in my apartment were made by me. I can show you a couple of them. Definitely not an advanced artist, I would say, but I do think I have a creative eye. And so I think with more practice, I should be able to develop and get much better in the future. So yeah, I also love anything health related. So ever since high school, I was into food and nutrition, got into college, was doing nutrition science, got to grad school, still doing nutrition, and I'm obviously gonna work in the nutrition field when I'm done with my training. And so yeah, after grad school, I plan on getting my registered dietitian credentials. I have a blog, a nutrition blog, where I share recipes, I share nutrition education. My whole philosophy surrounding health is to do it holistically. So not just focusing on what you eat and how you move your body, but also focusing on your mental health and also your spiritual health, because you're not just a physical body, right? You have emotions, and you also have your spirit that you need to develop through faith and things like that, which kind of brings me into another thing. I'm a Christian, so that's the lens through which I approach spirituality. And I'll share more on that later as well throughout. You'll see it pop up in different videos that I will share moving forward. Yeah, and so my blog's title is called The Holistic Health Nut. I'll leave it linked in the description box if you want to check it out and subscribe. Yeah, so that kind of spans my interest. Art, science, and health. And science and health kind of goes hand in hand for me. Talents. I can sing. I haven't really sang a lot throughout my life because I've been shy to do so. I think I'm growing out of being shy though, which is awesome because it was very crippling. Like, yeah. I guess between undergrad and grad school, I've kind of had to be in situations where I was standing in front of a crowd and addressing a crowd. And so I think that's kind of breaking me out of my shell of being quote unquote shy. But you would never know that I was a shy person. Yeah, I get really nervous for presentations. I get nervous for singing. I don't like to be the center of attention in front of a crowd. I'm fine with it though, with like my close circle. But with like a large group of people I don't know, not so much. So I can sing, and also another talent is being dramatic. I think in another life I would probably make a really good actress. I used to do a lot of plays when I was younger, at my church and stuff. I used to write plays and I used to act in them. I'm really good at poetry. I'm good at writing. Yeah, I used to write a lot of poetry when I was younger. I don't anymore though, which I think I will start that up again. And also another thing I would say is a talent of mine is cooking. I think that runs in my family though, on both sides, like my dad's side and my mom's side. They're really good at cooking, which is funny because growing up I was very much into my studies, and so everyone would make fun of me and be like, oh, she's never gonna learn how to cook because she's just all in her books and she's super stush, as they say in Jamaica, for girls who are like, I don't know how to explain it, but girls are like super ladylike and things like that. But yeah, jokes on everybody because I'm a big chef right now. Those are my talents. Yeah. Ideal day in the life. Okay, so an ideal day in the life for me, I would say, would be I would wake up and then I would do my skincare, and I'd probably make some tea. I love tea. I have so much tea in my kitchen. And I would go for a walk, a really long walk, preferably through like on a trail or somewhere really, really beautiful and filled with lots of trees and just gorgeous. And ideally I would want to do it at sunrise so that I could watch the sunrise. I love sunrise, I love sunset, I love nature. So that would be the perfect start to the morning. And I think I would make it a prayer walk. So I would talk to God while I'm walking and stuff. And then I would come home and I'd probably do some stretching, some yoga. And then I'd make breakfast. And while I'm eating breakfast, I would read my Bible and finish up my devotion. I think for breakfast, I would probably make oatmeal, because I really do love oatmeal. It's one of my favorite breakfasts because it's so quick and it's so fulfilling and super nourishing. And it's also like one of those meals that you can easily add lots of nutrients to, because it's like such a base food. You can really like go crazy with like toppings and things like that. Yeah, make breakfast, have breakfast with my devotion, and then I would take a shower, get dressed for the day, and then I'd probably drive to the museum and probably spend way too much time there looking at art, taking pictures of art. I'll share some photos of me at different museums. I've been to so many so far. I've been to the Guggenheim Museum in New York City. I've been to a lot of museums in New York City because that's where I'm predominantly based. So I've been to the Guggenheim Museum, I've been to the Metropolitan Museum, that's my favorite one. I've been to the MoMA, I've been to, there's this one, it's in my very first video. It's in my very first video on the channel. So if you scroll all the way down, I also went to that museum. I can't remember the name of it. It's a museum and a library in one. It's so pretty. Which other ones? I've been to the Brooklyn Museum. I've been to the Natural History Museum. That one's really cool as well. Yeah, I think that's all I can remember for right now. I've also been to the museum here at Cornell. That one's pretty cool too. In Boston, I went to the Museum of Fine Arts. Gorgeous, gorgeous museum. Yeah, and I think that's all the museums I remember ever going to. There's one in Ithaca called the Earth Museum. I'm gonna visit that one at some point, either this month or next month, and I'll take you guys with me. I also want to go to the Glass Museum in Cortland. Yeah, I'm gonna do those two next. So after the museum, I'd probably go to lunch with some friends, and after lunch I'd probably come home and do something, probably something related to my blog. So I'd probably come home, maybe read a couple scientific articles and turn that into an article for my subscribers to read on the blog. Because one of the things that I really want to do more of this year with both my channel and my blog is to really simplify nutrition research for the public. And I think that's one of the major goals I have for my career as well. Like, I really want to incorporate communication, either written or oral, into that. So that's what I would do. I'd come home, do something science related, and share some information on my blog. And then I'd probably want to spend the evening with my family. So either cooking with them and then having dinner with them and just hanging out. And yeah, I think that would be like a really fulfilling day for me. Yeah. My favorite color is yellow. So I've had so many favorite colors throughout my life. My first one was pink. I feel like that's typical for every girl growing up. Like, you love pink, baby pink to be exact. And then I think at one point it was like rose pink. As I was like getting into my teenage years and stuff, I thought I was like an adult now, so I need to like make my favorite color more sophisticated, I guess. Yeah, so I loved pink first, and then I think when I started college, my favorite color became burgundy. I don't know where that came from. I think it was more from like a fashion perspective, because I really liked how burgundy clothing looked against my skin. And then after a while it was gray. I don't know what I was going through during that time, but yeah, I really liked gray. And then I think after a while it was green. In fact, it still is. I still do like green, just because also I really love plants. So there's like a ton of plants all over my apartment and I want to get more. Yeah. And yeah, so now it's between green and yellow. I really do love earth tones as well, but green and yellow right now for sure. Okay, my biggest fear. I think in terms of phobia, it would be like lizards and reptiles, anything that just looks, they just give me the heebie-jeebies, and I feel like I would just freak out whenever I see them. Interesting, I guess, experience I had in undergrad. We had this little lily pond where there were turtles and fishes and stuff, and I was sitting by the lily pond, and like all the turtles started coming up. It was, I don't know, it just gave me the heebie-jeebies, and I had to immediately move. But in terms of, yeah, phobias, my biggest fear is like reptiles, yeah, snakes, lizards, no. In terms of like life in general, I think my biggest fear would be not being able to take care of my needs and myself. I think that being completely dependent on someone else, I don't think I would ever want to be in that kind of situation. I do think though that there's some level of healthy dependence that's required in terms of like being in community with others and having a relationship and things like that. So I do think that being dependent to some extent is necessary, and I'm fine with that. But I think not having any sense of agency would freak me out, and so I always want to be able to like have the ability to take care of myself. Yeah. My favorite memory. I feel like I have a lot of really good memories, but I'll share one of my fondest memories. It was in undergrad by the lily pond again, and typically I would like sit there in between my classes, and I went there one day and all of the benches were like occupied with like people and their friends and stuff, and there was this one bench that had just one girl sitting there, and I looked at her and she looked at me, and I was like thinking to myself, like, should I just go sit there just because it's an empty space? I eventually did, and then we ended up talking, and she turned out to be a really good friend of mine while I was in undergrad. Her name is Amel. She was from Yemen. She introduced me to cardamom, which is a spice that they usually use in teas like chai and stuff. So we would bond over tea, and she would bring me little spices to make tea and stuff like that. Yeah. And then we did lose touch, which is unfortunate. Yeah. We had each other's number for a long time, and I think when I started grad school, maybe like a year after I started grad school, we lost touch. Yeah, but that was one of my favorite memories, because it's just a prime example of how you can meet really good people in very simple ways. Rank the top 3 years of my life. My most favorite year would probably be 2021. And then my second favorite year would probably be 2018. In 2018, I lived in Boston for a summer, and that was so much fun. I was there for a summer research internship at Tufts Graduate School. Yeah, and I had a lot of fun. It was so much fun, and I learned a lot, and I met some really cool people who I'm still in contact with today. Yeah, so 2018 would be my second favorite, and then my third favorite year would probably be maybe 2012. Yeah, maybe 2012 or 2009, one of those two. My favorite art medium, wow. I would probably say pottery, just because you can make really functional things that look pretty. So like, whereas art, it's just like hanging stuff on a wall. In terms of like painting, you just hang stuff on a wall. But with pottery, you can make mugs, you can make bowls that you can eat out of, you can make a vase for flowers and things like that. Yeah, so maybe pottery. My favorite meal of the day is breakfast. I would eat breakfast for dinner, lunch, I'd eat that for every meal. I love breakfast. It gives you the most opportunity to explore. I feel like lunch is a little bit boring. Dinner is a little bit more exciting. but I feel like breakfast is where you really shine with creativity. Yeah, love breakfast. Ooh, favorite skincare. I love skincare. In terms of brand, I'd probably say Fenty Skin. Love Fenty Skin, and my skin loves Fenty Skin. In terms of type of skincare, I'd probably say face masks. I love a good face mask. Any kind of mask, like face mask, eye mask, lip mask, love those. In terms of body care, I'd probably say like body creams and lotions. Currently I'm using cocoa butter because it's winter and this is the season where your skin gets really dry. Yeah, I've been loving cocoa butter recently. Yeah. Favorite cuisine. I always feel very strange answering this just because I feel like, okay, so my favorite cuisine is Jamaican food, right? But I always feel weird saying that because it's like, you're from Jamaica, like that's so cliche, but it is my favorite cuisine. But second to that, I'd say Indian. I really love Indian food. I love a good curry. Yeah, I love naan as well. Yeah, so I guess those are my two favorite cuisines. My favorite food is fish, fried fish to be exact, escovitch fish and bami. Yeah, with lots of onions or lots of pickled onions and carrots and scotch bonnet pepper. If I could eat that for the rest of my life, I would be completely content. Love me a fish and bami. Ooh, favorite makeup product. I'd probably say blush because it's so pretty and it makes me feel really girly. Yeah, so I love blush. And also lip gloss, anything for the lips, love that. Ooh, my favorite fruit is actually jackfruit. Oh, it's my favorite fruit. Every time I go home, I always have to have some jackfruit. Love jackfruit. Vegetable, ooh. It's an interesting one. I've actually never thought about that before. My favorite vegetable would probably be squash. Honey nut squash to be exact. Is that considered a vegetable? I know it's a gourd, but like, is that a vegetable? I don't know. Yeah, so I study nutrition, metabolism / metabolic diseases. My research project is done in skeletal muscle. We're trying to find treatment for mitochondrial disease, specifically affecting skeletal muscle tissue. I'm really a big fan of skeletal muscle biology, anatomy, all of that. And so now in my research, I'm getting the opportunity to learn about the deep molecular and cellular, I guess, underpinnings. That's a very buzzword for scientists, of the tissue. And so I work with the stem cells of skeletal muscle in particular, and I conduct high throughput screening to find treatment for mitochondrial disease. If you've been in school for any time at any point in your life, you might have heard your science teacher say, oh, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Well, it is, because it's a tiny little organelle that's present in all of your cells except for red blood cells, and it's responsible for producing the energy that we use for a bunch of different things. It makes the energy that allows us to walk, it makes the energy that allows us to breathe, it makes the energy that allows us to do anything, open your eyes, your heart beating, your kidneys functioning. Yeah, it's responsible for your ability to be alive, essentially. And so as you get older, the function of that organelle declines, and then you're not able to make as much energy anymore. And so you start to see certain tissues decline and so on, especially skeletal muscle. And so particularly in my case, we're looking at mitochondrial disease, which is typically just a genetically inherited disease that typically it's quite debilitating. There's no cure, and because it's present everywhere and it's responsible for most of the energy produced in your body, when it's not working properly, it's really, really deleterious for the person that's being impacted. And so we're trying to see if we can find treatment specifically for skeletal muscle that's affected by mitochondrial disease. Yeah, and I think that's all I will give you. When I publish the research, we'll share that as well. But yeah, that's the general idea of it. Favorite place I've been to in the US. In undergrad, I got to travel around the States to different research conferences, scientific research conferences, and also my internship as well. And so I'd probably say my favorite place I've been to is Boston, just because it's so clean and I had a really, really good time when I was there. I've been twice. I was there for a summer and then I was there for a week in the winter. It was so cold, like so cold. It felt like my face was gonna break off into pieces. It was so cold. But yeah, I really, really do love Boston. Maybe if I can find some pictures of when I was there, I'll put them random places in the video. Yeah, but love, love, love Boston. I'd probably live there if I had the chance. Yeah, so love Boston. Why did I start this channel? Okay, so I started this channel for a number of reasons. When I was in high school, I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos. I used to watch people like Bethany Moda, My Fam, Miss Glamorazzi, like really like OG YouTubers. I used to love watching those videos and I've always wanted to start a channel because of those YouTubers. In fact, I used to film videos and I would let my friends watch it on the bus that used to bring me to high school. I would like make videos, edit them in iMovie, and like give my friends my laptop so that they could watch it. Yeah. Anyways, and I also used to make random silly videos at school as well with my friends. Yeah, so childhood dream, I guess. And then also, I guess in my adult years, I wanted to give myself, I guess, a platform to really like get out of my comfort zone and I guess open myself to not feeling shy to like talk to a broad audience. Granted, I'm talking to a camera right now, but eventually people are gonna see this. Yeah, and also to like practice like speaking, because I feel like I'm a very reserved person and I don't really talk a lot unless I have to. And I think for someone who wants to have a career that prioritizes communicating nutrition information to the public, I have to be able to eloquently articulate myself. And I feel like having this kind of platform would allow me to develop that skill. And then thirdly, it's a creative outlet. As I mentioned, I love art. And not just painting and pottery or drawing, but I also like photography and also videography and cinematography. Like I really like watching those things. And so I think having this channel will help me to kind of develop in that, I guess, realm of art / creativity. Yeah, and so those are the 3 reasons why I started this channel. Kinds of videos that you can expect are vlogs. I'm really into that. You can expect just random sit-down videos. It'll likely be my podcast, which I'm gonna start back up soon. It's called Tea and a Reasoning. Tea, we're gonna drink tea and talk about random topics essentially. I love tea, and so that's one of the reasons why it's called Tea and a Reasoning. I do have a couple initial videos for that podcast. Yeah, feel free to go watch them and listen to them if you would like. But I'm thinking about some new topics. I have one already, which I'm gonna post in a couple videos down. Yeah, and you can also expect nutrition education type videos and also self-care related videos. Yeah, and more. Ooh, what am I looking forward to most? two things actually. I'm really looking forward to seeing how my editing slash cinematography slash directing skills develop, and I feel like they have been so far. I think for the most part I've been exploring a lot more short form content, and I think my skills are developing a lot there, and so I also want to develop it in long form format as well. That's one of the things I'm really looking forward to. And then another thing is also the community that I'm hoping to build on here. I'm really looking forward to building a community and a space where people can feel safe and seen and nourished holistically. Yeah, if those two things come from it, it'll be a successful journey. And so yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Ooh, something, so the last question is something I'm currently working on. We're gonna end on a very profound note. Something that I'm working on right now is how to let go. Yeah, it's something that I'm working through in my devotion time and also in therapy. The only thing constant in life is change. There are times and seasons for a reason, and so certain things might not be here to stay, essentially, and you have to be okay with that because that's just the nature of life. And so that's something that I'm learning to do and I'm actively working on. And so yeah, so I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit better, and you'll get to know me even more as I continue to post. Yeah, you can tell me something about yourself in the comments. In fact, you can pick one of the 24 questions that I answered and you can share or answer for that question with us in the comments. And yeah, if you're new here, please subscribe, and if you've been here a while, thank you for being here. Please like and comment and share with a friend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.